All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a wellness trend that is absolutely blowing up everywhere: oil pulling. A dentist took a really deep dive into this ancient practice, and we're going to break down what she found out. So, you've probably seen this all over your social media feeds, right? People swishing oil around in their mouths, making all these promises about incredible benefits. But is it just another internet fad, or is there actually something to it? Let's get into it. Okay, so what is this stuff anyway? At its core, oil pulling is actually super simple. It's an ancient technique that comes from Ayurvedic medicine where you just take some oil, swish it around your mouth for like 10 minutes, and then spit it out. And by the way, spit it in the trash, not your sink. You do not want to clog your pipes. Now, this isn't some new thing that just popped up on TikTok. We're talking about a practice that's been a part of health regimens in India for thousands and thousands of years. So yeah, it's got some serious history to it. And that's a huge point for Dr. Ellie Phillips, the dentist we're talking about. I mean, when something's been around for literal millennia, even a modern dental pro has to admit it's worth a serious look. You just can't dismiss that kind of track record. So, what's the skinny here? What's all that swishing supposed to be doing inside your mouth? Let's unpack all the claims. Okay, so the big claims are that the oil basically goes around your mouth and, like a magnet, it picks up and yanks out bacteria. Some folks believe it can even mess with the cell walls of those nasty plaque-forming bacteria. And the result? People say they have better gum health, and a lot of them swear it makes their teeth look whiter too. And here's the real kicker. While Dr. Phillips isn't calling this a miracle cure, she makes one thing crystal clear. She thinks oil pulling is far, far better than other DIY trends, like using baking soda, peroxide, or that charcoal stuff, which, for the record, she says she would never, ever use. All right, so if you're going to give this a shot, you've got a choice to make. It's the main event. The two heavy hitters in the oil pulling world are sesame and coconut. And according to Dr. Ellie, there's some pretty big differences you should know about. Let's put these two head to head. Over here, you've got sesame oil. It's the OG, the traditional choice in Ayurveda. It's got these beneficial phytonutrients, which are plant compounds that can help calm inflammation. Plus, it's got vitamin E and a little zinc. And then you've got coconut oil, kind of the new kid on the block that got big in the late 90s. Its secret weapon is lauric acid, which is known for fighting microbes. But Dr. Ellie worries it might be a little more aggressive, meaning it might be a little too good at its job, potentially messing with the good guys, the beneficial bacteria that keep your mouth's ecosystem in balance. Hey, real quick before we continue, speaking of your mouth's ecosystem, if you're digging this info and want to actually do something about your oral health, we've got a game changer for you in the description. It's called Prodentim, and it's the real deal for supporting your mouth's natural, healthy ecosystem. Trust me, your future self will thank you for checking it out later. Dr. Ellie actually has this really cool background. Her parents lived in India, so she was already familiar with these ideas. And she decided, hey, I'm not just going to read about this, I'm going to run my own little experiment and see how it feels. And the winner of her personal blind test, it was sesame oil, hands down. After trying both without knowing which was which, she just flat out preferred how the sesame oil worked and felt. All right, let's land this plane. We've gone through the history, the claims, the big oil debate, but where does oil pulling actually fit into a modern, effective routine for your mouth? This quote from Dr. Ellie really just hits the nail on the head. She's saying there is no single magic bullet. Not one toothpaste, not one mouthwash, and nope, not even oil pulling can do the whole job by itself. It's all about having a complete system. And this is the key takeaway for real. Dr. Ellie didn't replace her routine with oil pulling, she upgraded it. She started using sesame oil as step one as a pre-rinse. But then she followed it up with the whole system, brushing the right way, using her go-to final rinses, and then supporting those good bacteria with xylitol. So there you have it. That's the bottom line. You got to think of oil pulling not as a replacement for brushing and flossing, but as a potential addition to a solid routine you already have. It's like the warm-up, not the whole workout. So that leaves one last question. And this one's for you to think about. After hearing what a modern dentist found when she looked into this ancient practice, could this be the upgrade your oral health routine has been missing? Definitely something to chew on.